Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Disease is the leading killer of women in this country, claiming 1 out of every 3 women. But even more striking, it is completely preventable in the majority of cases with the right lifestyle choices. Here to tell us more is a true expert, top Western New York cardiologist, and my dear friend, JoAnne Cobler. Welcome, Dr. Cobler.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Rosie's been going nuts. JoAnne walked into the studio and she's going, wait, my people are here, my people.
My people, yes. Well,
You
it's
know-
a friendly group.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we
I know you guys are
know.
great pals,
We're a-
but you know, we talk about it often. I mean, and just the other night, actually, we went to a wine tasting, right?
Yes,
and,
we were there.
And one of the big questions was, is red wine really good for heart
I was
health?
going to ask that. It's a myth.
Yeah. I choose to not believe it's a myth. Right. And I just recently heard tequila is also good. So
Really?
it's in your court now, Dr.
Yes.
Cobler.
Let us know the truth.
Well, it's not good to have wine every day or alcohol every day, especially for women, because it can affect the heart's muscle. The pumping action can
Okay.
decrease. It can also cause irregular heart rhythm. So certainly everything in moderation.
Wrong answer.
But you don't need to.
Wrong
you don't need to
answer.
start drinking.
Her whole happiness just kind of went down like,
I know.
We started out by saying it's the #1 killer
Yes.
of women, but I think that's the important part of this whole conversation, that most people don't associate heart problems with women.
No.
They think it's men, and they think breast cancer. When you think about it, women, you think that, don't you think that's
Yes.
the biggest fear that
Absolutely.
we have?
So what is
And
the great-
It's not true?
No, 1 in 29 women will die from breast cancer, and 1 in 3 will die from heart disease. And
Amazing.
heart disease is preventable. So that's the key here.
Now, we're talking about heart disease. We hear heart attacks for those of us who
Right.
really don't
Yes.
know the terms.
the
Yes.
difference.
What is heart disease, JoAnne?
So it will be a heart attack, which is, buildup of cholesterol in the arteries of the heart. You can also have a stroke, which is buildup of cholesterol in the brain. It could be that, in the arteries in the brain, but you could also have blood clots going to the brain, the same with the heart. So it has all to do with the blood vessels. I mean, it can also be in your legs. So it's really cardiovascular disease.
Okay.
But the main thing we want to look at, what we look at is a heart attack or a stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
And they creep up on you. They're not something that's like going to knock and say, hey, I'm coming next week.
Well, if you,
Right.
Exactly.
there's a difference though, which I think you could explain more. When people say, "Oh, I had a heart attack," as
Right.
opposed to heart disease,
Exactly.
There's a difference, right? I mean,
Absolutely. And I've certainly, been in practice for almost 30 years now, and I see the difference in the technology and the prevention that we have. We learned about cholesterol. We know that if we can get your LDL cholesterol below 70, we can reverse disease that you have. So when we have heart disease, we have some cholesterol buildup in the arteries of the heart, and basically what happens with a heart attack is you have this plaque, and underneath it there's this liquid core. The plaque ruptures, and then the liquid core leaks out, and a blood clot forms and causes a heart attack. So that's an acute event, but we can prevent that from happening by keeping the cholesterol low, keeping that LDL low. The medications we have will stabilize the plaque and prevent the heart attack. It can actually reverse disease. It will take out that liquid core and open up the arteries.
Now, you talk about prevention and you talk about, the medication aspect. Now, before we get to medication, what can people do to ensure that, not even ensure, but to help prevent even reaching that place?
Yes, our basic things are, first thing is smoking. Don't smoke. I mean, that's huge.
it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I mean,
but you would say it's obvious, but people are still doing it.
I know.
Yes.
Don't smoke.
I know. We're just.
I mean,
really,
it's hard to stop once they start, but it's just like, you
Right.
got to do it. I mean, I have people who had a heart attack and they just can't stop smoking.
Wow.
And that's the biggest risk factor for having another heart attack is smoking.
Wow.
Oh my
So there's no smoking. Exercise, regular exercise. You want to do at least 150 minutes of cardio type exercise
150
where you're really pushing yourself where you can barely
150
touch.
minutes
Per
a day?
week. Per
Oh,
week.
a week.
A day. I
Okay.
do that, but I don't have to do that. No.
She's just a show off.
Coming off her championship ricotta, right?
Yeah, exactly. She's adorable, but she's a show off.
An hour.
150.
A morning.
I do that
An hour.
many times a week.
So 150 minutes per week of at least of cardio, and then you want to do 2 to 3 days of strength training, whether it be like bands or weights or something where you're improving your strength,
And this
increasing your
isn't
muscle.
something you have to go to a gym for.
No.
This is just something,
No.
this is called walking.
Right, walking at a good pace, not
Yeah.
strolling.
Right. Speed walking a little bit.
Yeah,
Like we
where
see
you
ladies
can
doing
barely
walk.
talk. You're pushing yourself.
Not window shopping and stuff.
So you really
So
have
no
to
red
exercise.
wine, no
to-
window
this is
shopping,
bad.
no alcohol.
And what I love most is you talked about moderation. Now I have
Yes.
to ask this because my Mary Kate got on me before about Red Bull. And there are some things that we take in.
Back me up, Doc.
And so I know
not
she's
good.
going to back you up. And this is, I guess, I'm kind of scared to even ask this question because I've been drinking Red Bull since I was in college.
Yeah.
And that's years. And so I want my mother always tell me, you never know what's going to come out and there's going to be some crazy side effect or with everything you've been intaking this. Doc was like, what is my chances here? Like, I'm very nervous.
Well, you need to be careful about caffeine.
Yes.
I mean, it can
That's
cause
okay.
your heart rate to go up. It can cause irregular heart rhythms. So, I mean, that's the issue there. It's like too much stimulation.
Absolutely.
And it'll cause your blood pressure to go up as well.
It's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, I've been
This whole
saying
Red
that.
Bull is.
And there's sugar in it as well.
It's
I mean,
sugar,
it's
it's
just-
caffeine,
yeah.
it's concentration,
just
and
bad
there's
news.
a lot of warnings about young people.
Bad news all
Oh,
the
yeah,
taking
and we've
that.
seen them in the emergency room with them. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
the young people is where we started talking
Right, when
about
we
it a few
started
months
talking
ago,
about it.
right? And it was just the warnings of this, popular drink that's going to give you the buzz you need to get through
Right.
the day, and it's completely legal, and it's not
Yeah.
meant to be, an illegal substance,
No.
but it gives you that extra,
But you could
pep
get
in your
that. You
step.
could get that from getting enough sleep. That's critical.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise will give you. I mean, that you keep your energy up with exercise and eating properly. You can
Right.
feel a lot better.
Now we talk about, so many of sometimes we focus on heart disease as we get older, but as I think about
It
this,
starts-
it's very young because we're consuming all of these,
No.
the caffeine, the sugars, double shot of espresso.
It does start
and-
young.
That's when it starts building up. This is why you want to catch it when you're younger.
Right.
Because those blockages build up over time. It's
When I see
yeah.
these 14 to 15-year-old kids in the coffee shops
Yes.
getting the extra shot,
They're
so it's
in
like,
there early.
You want to take them by the shoulders and going, don't
do it.
You
and all
can't
the extra
shake it.
sugar and all
Yeah.
that, then it just isn't worth
And they're
it.
walking around with the coffee drinks. And,
No, we do.
Yes,
Starbucks is the coolest thing on campus. Now
Yeah.
it's Tim Hortons, and yep.
One of the main issues that I think we have to discuss is the fact that women are not diagnosed properly when they are having.
Right.
It's a question. I mean, what are the symptoms that women might have that are not prevalent in men so that it's not diagnosed in women properly?
Well, I think women just are treated differently. A lot of times the symptoms are the same. They can be a little bit different. Certainly women, so excessive fatigue, like we're all busy doing things so we're tired, but this is excessive. Like you really, that's one of the key things I look at. Excessive fatigue, decrease in your exercise tolerance. You can't do as much as you did before. A lot of times people just say, oh, I'm just getting older, I can't do as much. No, it's not. My mother's 90, she's still skiing,
love
she does
it.
everything.
She's
Yeah.
a pistol. Yeah.
So it's not that you're getting older. If something's changing, there's something going on. Shortness of breath when you do things. Chest discomfort, pressure. People say, oh, I don't have any chest pain. Well, I'm not looking for pain. I'm looking for like a tightness or a heaviness in your chest. It can go up into your jaw. Sometimes you just have pain in your jaw when you do something. Sometimes you're just really sweaty when you do something, which is different than, I mean, it's like all of a sudden you're vacuuming and you get really sweaty.
Yeah.
So something like that could be from your heart.
And sometimes if you're in a place, I've been there and have other people say, did it just get really hot in here? And it's not about a hot flash. It's a whole different thing.
Right,
I was
right.
going to say that. My mother's going through that all the
Yeah,
time
but it's
right
like,
now.
Right.
did it get warm in here? Or you take that flight of stairs and it's like, wow, that was a lot of strain.
Right. But if you feel
these are the
something
things we
different
have
like that.
These are
Right,
things
I
we
guess
have to be
that's the point.
aware of as
Exactly.
women, right?
I guess
Penny, is that what you're
I
getting
guess
at?
that's what I'm asking you is like when women have some of these symptoms, they think, oh, it's just stress or oh,
We
I'm just
overlook it.
tired or whatever.
Yeah.
And it really could be.
It could be your
a
heart, and those are, you want to, when you start to have symptoms, when you want to get it diagnosed so you can see what it is, and if you have to open up the artery, open it up, or just get your cholesterol down so you can open it up with medication, so you don't end up having a heart attack, and then doing damage to your muscle. Like people, or even they're having the chest pain and don't get in right away. They have typical symptoms. You get really sweaty, I have severe discomfort in my chest, like an elephant sitting on my chest, short of breath, nauseated, but they don't go to the hospital. Those people, I mean, right now we have something that can open up the artery right away and there's no damage to the heart.
Well, we're going to talk more about that in a moment.
Yes.
And we have to take a short break here. We're going to be right back with this amazing conversation with Dr. JoAnne Cobler. So please stay with us.